Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Zero Y Tripod from Coman, and I'd like to thank Coman for sending this out to me to review at no cost to myself, but as always, I'll give you my honest and fair opinion. So before we get started, the first thing I want to say is I think a tripod should be your very next purchase after you get your camera and lens, because a tripod will allow you to expand your photography into areas that you can't do without one. So for example, long exposure photography, you want to do waterfalls, infrared photography, astrophotography, things like that, where the camera needs to remain stationary for several seconds to maybe several minutes. You just can't do that handheld. You need a tripod. Other areas would be like multiple exposure photography, where you do composites, panoramas, close-up and macro photography, and so many other things. A lot of these things are really not possible without a tripod. So tripods come in a variety of sizes and different features, and I put them in primarily two different categories. We have our photocentric tripods like this one, and then we also have our video-centric tripods that typically have like fluid heads on them, and Coman offers a variety of those as well. But we're going to look at this one today. Being photocentric, this kind of fits into another category or subcategory of being a travel tripod. So we're going to look at the features that make this a travel tripod, a great travel tripod, and also we'll deep dive into some of the special features of this tripod and why I wanted to review this specific one. Alright, so let's start with the basic size and weight, and as you can see, it's very, very compact. It's only 16.7 inches in length here when it's all collapsed down, and it's a tiny 2.36 inches wide at the widest point here, so it makes it very, very easy to slip in the side pocket of your backpack or carry on the bottom straps of, say, your shoulder bag. And the tripod is made of carbon fiber and aluminum. I could not find any plastic parts on this thing at all, save for maybe the rubber feet down here. And being carbon fiber, it gives it two significant advantages. It's very, very lightweight at 1.1 kilos. So that's well under my typical like 1.5 kilo weight limit when I think about travel tripods. And also it has a very high weight capacity. 18 kilos or almost 40 pounds is the rated capacity. Now let's look at the height of the tripod when all the legs are extended, and this uses the flip locks, which is actually my preference now. I was a twist lock guy for a long time, but now I prefer the flip locks. But they were tensioned just right out of the factory, so I can open them up pretty easily all at once for each leg with one hand. So let's extend the legs out. And as you can see, this comes up to about chest height here, which is very, very good. And then I'll put the camera on here to give you an idea of the level there, like so. So I just have to bend down just a little bit without extending the center column, but I can extend the center column and easily bring this up to eye level here, no problem at all. And then the maximum height actually goes a little bit over my head. I'm 5'8", but yeah, this would be, I have to get on my tippy toes to kind of get up to that, but the total height here at the base is 156 centimeters or 61.4 inches. So that's more than enough height for most applications, and certainly very, very good considering how small this compacts down to. Now if you want to get your camera down lower to the ground, you can of course just simply retract the legs, and you can do that very quickly by opening the flip locks around this way. And then just turn your tripod around and the legs will just drop in. And then with my right hand, I can relock all the legs very quickly. And now we have about 15.6 inches, I believe, from the floor down to the plate here. You can also invert the center column. Oops, you have to remove the hook first, a little safety feature. And then just invert it and slide it in this way. And then return the hook back to the top. And then you can make adjustments with the center column or extend the legs. And this is good for like overlay and flat lay type photography. And then it has one more trick up its sleeve, is you can actually remove a portion of the center column. So let me put it back where it's supposed to be, or into the normal position. And what you do is You raise this up a little bit. You rotate the head over to the 90-degree position. It reveals this little hole here. And then you use your Allen tool, and there's a screw inside that you loosen that allows you to take the bottom part of the column off. And I'll do this in real time. This is a little awkward, to be honest, but it is another option for you to get your tripod down lower. Let me move this down a bit there. So now the center column is off. You can put these aside. And now I can extend the legs. And from the plate down to the ground here, or floor, this is about 15.3 centimeters, I think is what they said. And then of course, to put the center column back in, it's just the reverse of what I just did. So far so good. We can get the tripod to a reasonable height or higher. We can get it down low to the ground and lower. The legs extend and retract very quickly. It's super compact, lightweight, carbon fiber. What I want to share with you is why I really like this tripod and why I wanted to review this for you. Alright, so let's take a closer look at the business end. First of all, on the top here, we have a standard Arca-Swiss clamp. So it's pretty universal. All of my Arca-Swiss plates fit it. All of my Arca-Swiss accessories, like my nodal rails and indexers and things, all fit into this plate, no problem. You just tighten it, just like every other standard Arca-Swiss clamp. Also, you may have noticed that this is an inverted ball head design. So all that means is the ball head is underneath here, and this rotates on top. What I like about this is even when the center column is all the way down, I can still articulate the head 15 degrees in any direction, and I can also rotate it here. But not only that, once I have the angle that I want, and it's just a single lever pull here, let's say I want this a little bit off angle like this, I can still rotate the top separately. And this is key. This is a key difference between this and your normal tripod heads, and also many inverted tripod heads. This is especially very useful for panoramas. A lot of video heads have this feature as well, so you might call this sort of a hybrid tripod head. But primarily I like this for doing panoramas. So let me explain. Now a lot of times when you're doing multi-shot panoramas, like in landscape photography, you're going to be on very uneven ground. So with a regular ball head like this, it's very difficult to get nice even panoramas that are going to stitch very easily and give you the field of view that you want. So I'm going to exaggerate this for the purposes of the video, but let's say we're off by quite a bit here, maybe this much. And then I'm going to adjust this leg about the same amount, like so. Now I'm going to level the ball head, and I'm going to use the spirit level here. Okay, good. About right there. And then I'm going to use, there's a spirit level in here as well. I'm going to level this, about the same. So now both tripods or ball heads are level, right? However, when I start to take multiple images and I rotate the tripod head here, the angle is going to change. So I'm going to do a full 180 degrees. You can see now the ball head is crooked, and it's going to end up where you're going to have sort of a crooked panorama as you're taking your multiple shots here. With this one here, I'll rotate this a full 180 degrees. You'll see that it stays level. So now when I take my multiple shots, they're all going to be perfectly aligned along the side here. Alright, so let me go over some of the fine print. They do include a nice little carry case with a strap here. They've also included an additional center column, which has a 1/4-20 screw here, so you can attach, maybe a specialty ball head or other type of accessory that doesn't use the Arca-Swiss plate. And of course, they do have Arca-Swiss plate included. and some spikes that you can swap out for the rubber feet. These are just 1-inch spikes. If you're thinking, this is good for going onto soft ground and really planting your tripod, especially if you're going to be using telephoto lenses. That said, if you think you're going to be going on soft ground a lot, I'd probably get some longer spikes, at least 2-inch, but these will do in a pinch. There's also a 1/4-20 screw here, so if you want to attach additional accessories like lighting or maybe your cell phone, you can do that very easily right there. And then taking a closer look at the flip locks here, they are all spring loaded, so that's partially what makes it very easy to open. In addition to, they're not going to like accidentally close back down while you're trying to extend the tripod, so it just makes things a lot easier. So overall, I really like this tripod. It has a ton of features that I think make it ideal as a travel tripod, being carbon fiber, super lightweight, very compact when you fold it down. And I particularly like the inverted ball head design, especially that the rotator is separate from the leveling base. And I'd say the only con to this tripod is really the center column is a little bit fiddly to take on and off. That is a bit awkward. But other than that, I don't really have any problems with anything about this tripod, and I can recommend it. I'll have my affiliate links down below for the latest discounts and promotions, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. But that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.